and then we'll hit that button and see. Now I'm going to turn all phones off after the terrible experience that we had last week. Well, I said last week, there's a couple of weeks you lose track of time, lads. When you've done a big event like that, you lose track of time. You know, so much has gone on. Let me just go on there and see if we are in fact live, because we've had a few instances where
we are live.
We are live. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the arm of Ryan Bowen, the man down under, needs a lot of tanning. You're supposed to be warm over there, were you? Or not, isn't it, mate?
It's getting hot, man. It's starting to be stupid hot. It's ridiculous.
You need to be hanging that motherfucker out of the window of the cab of the ute. Get it out there and get a bit of sun on it. Do you do well with sun, with being a fair-haired bloke? Does it burn you, or are you not bad?
I've always, it's why I don't shave my arms or anything. It's an illusion of a tan, the red hair. No, I don't do well in the sun. Not at all.
Doesn't do you any good. Yeah, fair enough, mate. You've got a lighter shade of red.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I probably should intro the show. Ray will get mad at me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fix.
Yes. So you do it. And as you will see, I'm joined by a magnificent collective of peeps tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it pains me to say it, but the White Hawk is missing. White Hawk, when it's football season, he's a committed kid, isn't he? You don't play.
Got to do it.
So let me introduce who we've got on the call. We've got my co-host, as always, Ray Liepins, fresh back from a magnificent arm wrestling match in England. We've also got Redbeard. Oops, sorry, that's a pirate name. It's Ryan Blue Bowen in the mother-fluffing house, working hard on promote. There it is! The black tail get in.
And always rely on Ray for the classy back.
That's actually not me.
But by no means least, we are joined by the mighty Uncle John Thompson.
What's up, people?
That's the way, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, as always, the Fix is brought to you by the greatest beef jerky in the world. That's right, ladies and gents, the best on the planet. Everything else is just jerky beef. This is beef jerky. www.westernsurvivor.ca. Let's go. There we go. Dramatic pause at the end of that, guys. Glasses are going to have to come off. I'm steaming up. Not even fake taxi. I'm steaming up. Now, there you go. Flying super chat, lads. Straight out the box. And it's from Matt Tickle My Limits Lara, one of my very most favouriteest people ever. And already we've got a cattail hard on. My God, we've started with all the usual favourites. He's worked that tail, Ray.
I saw 3 people with that T-shirt. I was like,
it's a great T-shirt.
3 is way too much.
You know, it's sold out, Ray. I've got to redo it and launch it again. Sold out, that promo.
When you start getting random people in the street come up to you and asking for you to pose with their cat, that's when I reckon you made it. I recken it's coming. I reckon it's right around the corner.
I have so many people in my DM just sending me pictures of their cat. Not the one that I like to see, but they just sending me just like 2 of these.
Yeah, not the cat. Nothing intent, really.
No.
No,
thank you, Neil. All I can say is thank you, Neil.
So, that's how we go. And for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, truth of the matter is that Ray loves cats.
Yeah,
cats love Ray.
Yes, they do.
Now,
loves men with a strap on.
Matt. Yeah, keep it coming. I'm not bothered. Now, Matt Tickle My Limits Lara, how are you doing, pal? Great to see you in the chat. Thanks for supporting the channel. But just got to say how cool Olympia was. So many massive names around, but I have to say, Vrej is the most insane ever. He weighed 180 pounds and won the 205. Killing it. Killing the results. He was out there, you see. Won 205 left. 235 left over Marcio. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's big. That's a big deal.
That's a massive win. And second to Cody Merritt in the Supers. So anybody who's looking forward to seeing that, guys, that's fucked it. Yep. What a day. Nice. Lovely darts. Matt, Thanks for your super chat, brother. How's everybody doing tonight, guys?
Yeah, you're good. I want to say that's awesome from Brez, but I have to quite straight away. I got to do a quick shout out to Sam Bennett. Yesterday we had the Australian Queensland state titles, and we had Sam.
Did you hear that? Everyone.
Yeah, man, that was like Poltergeist.
Yeah.
You know, on a Poltergeist film where you just everything's normal.
You just exploded.
Yeah. That was you, Ryan. Right then.
One more time, Ryan. One more, One more time.
Right, I want to put a shout out to yesterday. We had the Australian Queensland state titles, and much like what Vrez just did, Sam Burnett won 5 of the 6 divisions. He won the 80s, the 95s, the supers on the left, and he won the 80s, the 95s on the right, and he finished 6th on the right in the supers. So he freaking cleaned up yesterday. Holy shit, Sam Burnett. Amazing performance.
Good on him. Brisbane powered. Is he Brisbane club?
Of course. Of course.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Yeah. Nucleus.
Yeah.
Vrez over there. See what he comes back.
I heard he one time shake arms with Tesh. So
Oh, yeah.
And the left hand shake was longer. So
yeah, well, that's going to do it.
The room we were in yesterday was the last room Danny Tesh was seen in.
Well, that explains that. Then. That totally explains that. I mean, obviously, there's still going to be. It's like Chernobyl, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
it's like years, after, like 30, 40
yeah.
years after you go there, you're still in trouble. Very, very similar with Danny Tesh. But he's been in a room 40 years later. You walk in there, sperm count goes up. So Danny Tesh.
Vrez beat Marcio. How the hell did that happen?
Amazing.
Like this.
Amazing.
he's amazing. He's
Actually, the other arm.
He was holding him pin line for a while, a good while.
He's got so much stamina, hasn't he?
yeah.
I mean, he's just, let's be honest, he always did. He's always had incredible stamina back in the WF days. I mean, the man's a rock. There's no doubt about it.
Incredible.
It shows one of the things I love about the sport most is that, like, yeah, size matters, but sometimes size doesn't matter. Sometimes one
Stop a minute, Ryan. Whoa, hang on. Al? Wait. Al, just come here a second.
No, it still matters in that respect, clearly.
Right, just standing a bit closer. Just come here a bit. Yeah, don't worry. It's more of a message.
Okay.
Really. So just
I'll
listen.
have a seat then, shall I?
Yeah. Go right.
Yeah, back in. So as I was saying, size clearly doesn't matter in all respects.
Yeah.
Neil's like, I told you so.
Yeah. I think she got it, Ryan. She's shaking her head. Don't look
I'm
convinced.
speechless. Yeah.
Speechless. But I've been telling her years. So,
Okay.
I've sat her down. I've said, "What, love?" She's crying, and I'm like, "Seriously." Anyway, that's all right. That's just wanted you.
I'm just going to say, when you buy me a diamond, bigger is better. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
When you bang your
Buying diamonds.
Buying
Oh, when
diamonds.
you bang diamonds.
Yeah. Girl.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it does matter.
Thanks for that, Ryan. That's public service you've done there, particularly in cold weather. It's getting winter over here. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Had to get it done. Right, crack on.
But Vrez is the epitome of just elbow integrity. When I think about it, it's just crazy that someone physically. I'm sure if you measured the fundamentals of Marcio and Vrez side by side in the strength sense, Marcio would probably win all of them. He probably does. But it shows you that you put it all together in a certain mate, you have resilience in a certain position, you can wear through all that and change.
I think that Vrez has worked the owl extensively.
Probably. I reckon he's one of those guys that could freaking crush Uncle John's PR lift in that owl lift of mine.
Yeah, get in the owl. Anybody in the
him and Danny anyway. Him and Danny.
That's the voice of arm wrestling actually done a piece on the owl yet, Ray? Have you done like a series of owl essentials?
Animal noises. I have animal noises.
Yes.
Yeah. My other channel. My passion, to be honest.
I must admit, it's one of mine too.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of fundamentals, I mean, I think we can always read.
Adrian's got none.
Yeah. Well, Adrian never had any,
Sorry,
fundamentals.
I couldn't understand, Adrian. How he beat everybody that he pulled all weekend, like with ease.
With no fundamentals, he beat them
Zero.
soundly.
Zero fundamentals. I've sent him books while we've been back. No shit. I sent him the fundamentals of gardening. That's gone. It's way over to him now in Romania. Fundamentals of basic mechanics. I've gone over.
Hey,
I think
absolutely.
I became an enemy with Saban Badalescu because of that.
Because he's Romanian, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, everybody, he's sticking up for his country, but he's like, hey, what the hell?
Well, I must stop. I'll say.
But no.
The best moment for sure was Neil. Remember the snoring? I forget who was snoring. Can I play it?
Oh my God, that was outrageous.
Just listen. It's 19 seconds. It's complete darkness. I forgot. I don't know who that is, but just listen. Those are transformer noises.
Swallowed something there.
They're still breathing?
It's a bit apnea, that, isn't it?
What?
I was going to say
that's Froda.
I was going to say it has to be
That was
Esky
Froda?
with all that shitty travel.
No, a different room.
No,
That was SP's room.
That was SP. Oh, it's SP.
Yeah,
it's got to be
but
Esky.
I don't think that was SP. No,
Yeah.
but those are transformer noises, right before they turn.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That's SP, 100%. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh
That's
my
useful.
Yeah.
Good excuse, though. You had travelled for 4 days and 11 nights. I mean, that'll take its toll on anyone. So, Ryan,
Yo.
let's get back onto Reg a second, okay?
Okay.
Because you know how you talk about your staying power and things like that. That's got to be a match that you'd enjoy.
Yeah. I've always been intrigued. I've always thought I'd love to know what it feels like to be in the hook with Reg and see what the hell happens. I mean, yeah, he's one of those guys that it just seems like no one ever outlasts him there. So it's a challenge. It's fun to experience that sort of thing. I would absolutely love to be in a hook with Reg and see what the hell happens.
The only downside from your perspective, obviously, or from a match perspective, is his strong arms is left and your left is your weaker arm. But I can think of some incredible battleground combos with Reg in there. If you had like Danny
Reg and Froda. Yeah.
Oh my God, ridiculous. Yeah.
Reg and Froda would be psycho.
Plus Danny Tesh in there because Danny can stay forever.
Well, yeah. Jokes aside, I never, ever have seen Danny Tesh lose a match that stops in a hook. It's just the dude so he was like Reg, but Danny famously 10 RM'd my 1 RM when I went and trained with Danny on side pressure on the owl. He 10 RM'd.
He was doing the owl.
And he 10 RM'd it.
Was he sort of the originator of the owl then, Ryan? Is he really?
Well, I don't know. I was just onto the Todd Hutchins regime. I had been training under that for about 6 months, and I went and trained with Danny, and I showed him my lift, and he kind of picked it up and said, "That's cute," and did 10 reps of my 1 RM.
Nice lighting, Ray. I like what you're doing there.
Yeah.
You get into sort of John's level with the lighting, and it's nice. That's quite moody now. You got a few things going on. Anyway, we're going to knock over a couple of super chats real quick. V Pose in the chat. Thanks, mate. Reality check was great. Good job, Neil and the guys. What do you guys think of the Olympia tournament? Especially the last minute warning. What last minute warning? Oh, you mean that we only got it late? Yeah. If they pull it off, I mean, it's not ideal, is it? That it's announced late, but a couple of big names showed up. I didn't see any matches apart from Reg, obviously, was mega. I didn't see any other matches that were really outstanding. I didn't see any screamers. It's back, but it's main draw format, so you can't guarantee that people meet.
Adam Taranenko against Eli Saidov. That's a big win, isn't it?
Was it a good pull? Yeah.
Yep.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm
I think
seeing it on
Adam with the win. Yeah.
Fisher.
Yeah. Fisher beat Adam Wilmot in a war, I heard.
Okay. Yeah, Adam's in great shape at the moment. Looks
great.
looks like he's been working very, very hard. Robert Gould with a super chat. Will you hold an Arm Wars in the USA next year? If so, I will be there. I can't answer that question yet. Yeah, there is a possibility. We got a couple of strands actually that we're working on, which could potentially lead to that happening. Yeah, could do. Probably Vegas. Truth be known, so probably Vegas, but we don't know. The likelihood, there's definitely going to be Arm Wars in the UK, potentially as early as January. But we'll have to see about the US. We'll have to see about that. It's obviously a lot more difficult to take the promotion abroad. Depends a lot on the COVID situation, guys. Not going to lie on that, because obviously that's made things. I mean, the whole experience of Arm Wars over here was just the difficulty of everything that you do is amplified dramatically. It makes life so much more difficult. So, yeah, if we're out of the woods with COVID and everything's calmed down and travel's free and there's no issues or restrictions, possibly so. But we shall see. There's a lot of water to go under the bridge before then. Finn Mason with a super chat, and he's just put, let's have a look. Vaccinate blue, hashtag vaccinate blue. I don't think you're going to get blue vaccinated. And even if you did, I'm not sure he's allowed out of Australia.
Yeah, not currently. No. But the Australian quarantine laws are said to be updating in December of this year, is when international travel will return for those that are vaccinated. I'm not, as you know. But for me, that's okay, because it means I can start bringing people in. So at least for me, 2022 is the goal is at least 3 or 4 super matches here on Australian soil at worst.
Has anybody seen Graham Watmore's super chat?
Yeah, this is not the first time I've gotten this, by the way. I've heard this.
This is awesome. So, Graham, thanks for your super chat, mate, which is definitely my favourite of the night so far. And he's put, can someone tell me why John has Ryan Bowen as his logo? That is awesome. Have you got a copy of your logo just knocking about, mate? Here we go. He's sharp in it. You've got to say. I mean, he's got.
Maybe the ball has gone too far, Ryan. I mean, this was like 300-pound Uncle John.
Yeah.
So.
You are full on morphing into that logo, Ryan, at the moment, mate.
Oh.
You get your hair a bit longer and get a bit of a sweep going.
That's a hair a bit longer. That's pretty much it. I've never noticed that before.
Graham, I love that. That's good gear, mate. Keep them coming. Brad Butler with the super chat. Hey, guys, no question. I just have supported channels for a minute. Sorry, but I'm back. Neil, thanks for the work. You work your tits off for us all in Arm Wars. Mate, I'll tell you what it is. Arm Wars, as the cat hard on comes flying into shop, Arm Wars was challenging. Let me tell you, I didn't actually realise how challenging until the back end of this week, and I'm still knackered. Absolutely. You were saying, Ray, you were rough, weren't you? Wrote you off. Mostly self-inflicted.
Mostly self-inflicted, yeah. Too much adrenaline and big adrenaline. I always get sick after competition, so
yeah.
Your match, Ray, for me, match of the event, in my personal opinion. How long did it take for you to recover from that physically?
Actually, Tuesday I was in training. I felt fresh. Everything felt fresh because the whole match was me holding with these 2 fingers, all rounds, because I couldn't get anything going here. So I was holding here, and I'm usually used to doing it. So there was no big side pressure. There was no big back pressure. I was just stopping him there and just holding him because he get too much away, and that's it.
Nice. I would actually love to ask you. When I think it was round 2, round 3, whichever first time you had the buckle on your side, when you ended up conceding the round. So you're up 1-0. So round 2.
Round 2.
Could you have fought through then and won? Was it a tactical decision to lay down and say, no, I don't want to exhaust my arm by winning in this horrible position, or were you done?
Oh no, I wasn't done at all. But the problem was Giannis was like, just because he was taking my arm a little bit. My hand stayed straight. Most of the rounds it stayed straight. In that one it kind of went, and I'm like, I will get exhausted, and I still need it for the rest of the round. So I just concede. And the same thing was in round 4, but there he came so close, and I was like, okay, let's just put it down, because I was in bad positions, and that's it. But
I was speaking to Craig actually after that, and Craig said, I was holding him there. I could have finished him at any time, and I was trying to burn him. He goes, but the bastard knew and he let go. It was great.
Craig said in the last round, he's like, I'm gonna get him and I'm gonna burn him. And I was like, I'm standing there. It's round 6, and I'm like, I don't want round 7. I really don't, because anything buckle will be on his hand. It's all better, but I'm like, just
get it done now.
Yeah, let's get it done.
That's cool. I think that was one of the reasons why that was my favorite match, was because for me, the match had everything. It had physicality, it had tactics like that. There was a lot of components to it. The shapes went everywhere, the threats were everywhere. It was really highly entertaining arm wrestling. Well done.
For the full range of techniques, touch of owl.
Touch of owl.
Yeah, there was a bit of owl in
you
it.
see his match with Popescu, though. I mean, apart from the fact that it's starkly lacking any kind of fundamentals, but other than that, it's a phenomenal. It's a good match, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good, solid match.
I was happy with it. I was happy with it. 5-1, lost, don't care, because I took that 1 round from him. He will never forget it.
Lit the crowd up. It was really good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was one of the nicest things for the whole weekend for me. The reaction of the crowd.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
They were really on board. I mean, it's rare you get a crowd. I don't know how many people we had there. I don't know, 800 people, 1,000 people, maybe. I don't know. There was a lot
more.
Of
Neil, there was like 2-3 grand, 1,000 grand.
There was a lot of people.
A lot of people.
At some points,
especially on second day.
Yeah, I think there was the section directly in front of the stage, and then there was sort of an L-shaped element. And if you looked right back to where the food court was at the back of the L-shaped element, it then went up probably another, 40, 50 yards to where the first stand was, where the little cage was.
Yeah.
And I could see that there were people still, there were sort of really,
from other sides. Because there were the dancers there and everything.
Yeah.
The thing that I really wanted to pull in front of that crowd. And that kind of, especially me and Craig's match, that match would be crazy with the crowd.
Shame we had to do that, Dark.
Yeah.
But obviously, it wouldn't have had quite the intensity with "Let It Go." There's only so many times you can have "Let It Go" as the back of you. You know what I mean? I mean, it plays mental tricks with people that as well. If you're in you're in a death match and suddenly all you can hear is "Let It Go," you don't need that. Frodo doesn't want that. That isn't the Frodo Hoagland theme tune. It's like get it off. Put something on that's got a bit of bite, But ideally, not things that we're going to get copyright strikes coming out of our ears.
Yeah.
It's still a bitter taste in my mouth, that, guys. It really does.
It wasn't.
You'll be pleased to know conversations have already taken place with the Arnold Classic about next year's event, and we won't be facing those same issues.
Nice.
And it's going to be 3 days. And I already know the dates. Did I send anybody the date? I may have told John the dates.
I think September-ish.
23rd. Yeah.
But the NEC again, or are they moving it to someplace bigger?
No, NEC.
Okay.
May even use more halls, but the NEC. So Mattical Limits Ladder back in with another super chat. Thanks, brother. He's put, there was Chafee. Oh, this is the lineup from Olympia. There was Chafee, Cody Merritt, Dallas, your mate, Ryan was there. Sarah Backman. Marcio, love Marcio. Fish, Chance Shaw, Torben, Alex Tockroll, Artem, Brandon Morris, and several names walking around like, obviously, Mike, Devon, Corbin Travis, epic. You loved it. Glad you enjoyed that event, mate. Glad you enjoyed that event. And I will catch more of it. I've been up to my ears, but I will catch more of that show. It's nice to see Marvin now and again pull something off, doesn't he? Marvin Cohen, obviously, he's hit the bullseye a few times. He's the man behind Over the Top. So we all owe that fella a debt of gratitude. Because how many people, if you look at the history of the sport, that was the biggest hit probably ever.
Yeah.
So many people came from that. So let's talk to John Thompson a little bit. John.
What's going on?
You got an operation coming up, mate. Obviously, we're not
Surgery in a
talking about the details of that, but what I wanted to ask was, what's the recovery map on that?
So from what I understand, I will be very limited for like the healing process is like 8 weeks, right? So, I mean, when you have a penis as big as mine and you want it reduced, it takes a while. So I'm guessing that I will be ready to go by the beginning of January, but I will not be trained up by the beginning of January. So my current plan was let this thing happen, let it move through. And then in January, I'm completely changing a lot of what I did based on one, getting my ass kicked pretty significantly on the left hand, and two, just in talking to all the Latvians, in talking to you, Neil, in talking to a lot of the guys that were there at Arm Wars, I just need to go a different direction. I need to be more power oriented, because a lot of my tricky bastard quotient was taken away from me, and David's level of power was just, I would have needed 100% tricky bastard level in order to match his power. And I just couldn't do it. So I'm going down in weight again and coming up in power, and we're doing it the Todd Hutchings way.
Wow.
Ooh. Yeah, that's my plan right now.
Like now, if you break yourself down on the classically and widely established strong bastard, tricky bastard scale, where do you actually have yourself? Are you sort of like a 7 strong, 9 tricky bastard? Where are you?
I've always really not valued my strength. I haven't had any strength up until the last couple of years from consistent training. So I've always, and believe it or not, I've had a lot of success in the super heavies when I was way overweight. So when I, won national championships in Canada in 2016, I had no business beating the guys that I beat, except for the fact that I pulled the wolves over their eyes. I controlled the referees, and I got everything that I needed. So that's a huge part of my game. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to access it in my left-hand match, but that's where you learn. I'm thrilled even with losing, I'm thrilled with what I took away from the weekend, because it's a new mindset. It's a bigger understanding. And, thanks to you guys, a lot thanks to the team Latvia. Cause every time I talk to them, just made me realize how much of a huge pussy I am in the gym, and that I need to get way, way stronger. And I train a lot, but I'm always very cognizant of becoming injured or whatever. And I need to be a little more confident and get a little more serious about that aspect, I think.
Yeah, there was the Latvian team, I'm going to pay homage to them as well, because I thought that the Latvian guys that came over did a magnificent job. They were awesome.
Excellent.
I mean, Gravis, good lad.
Yeah, that was good.
Kaspers came in with 3 days' notice. He walked into the event literally minutes before he was on stage, and we're not joking.
5 minutes, yeah.
Like, so
I was giving him my clothes, and James was miking him up.
It was like worrying that he wasn't going to be here in time. Like, okay, not that good now. Where is he? But he got here with minutes to spare. Did a great job. Lad can wrestle his ass off, as can all the team. We cannot ignore Sandris, who Sandris was awesome. Sandris gets it big time, as does Gravis. But what I loved about Sandris was that he had the opportunity to win the match far more comfortable than he did. He could have won that match much more comfortably. But no. He came and he knew that he was there to put on a show and to entertain people in the crowd who wanted to see arm wrestling matches. So he knows that Lee Webber's exactly as advertised, Diesel. If you go into a steady hook with him, you're in a match. The man is rock strong. So Sandris goes in there. Fair enough, came up short. Goes in again. Round 4. Love him. Hat comes off. Can't get enough of that. Brilliant. Oh, knew he had it there for himself, but I thought that was excellent. And you heard the reaction of the crowd. The reaction of the crowd to that, to the decision, to walking up to Lee and saying, we're going in. Yeah, love it. And the crowd reacted to that. That is what people enjoy. They want to see that visceral battle. and they got it. So Sandra Sedis, what an hombre. Mega. Did a great job.
Way bigger than I thought too. Like he's big. Like I knew he was big, but he's big dude. He's a real big dude.
Oh, yeah, he's a big
What was
lad.
he weighing?
Yeah.
What was he weighing?
About your weight, 105.
No, 114. He was 114.
Oh, he's bigger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's Lachlan at their weight.
Yeah, he's usually 110. He drops down to 110.
What are you weighing now, right?
Oh, 102 right now.
So Clark's 93 has just come in with a super chat. Jerome Loud versus Sandra Sedis could be interesting because Jerome's looking really serious.
I haven't even seen Jerome get tested recently. Like he's just been going through people.
Yeah, he's cracking people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very, very dangerous. Looks like his hand is a weapon.
Ridiculous.
Doesn't look ever troubled. It's just, yeah, easy. So my mind has been spinning on so many match options, though. I mean, some of the match options that didn't come off here, for example, Mindaugas and Tom Holland. That's coming. That is coming. It's unfinished business. It kind of has to happen. It's got to happen. So, Mindaugas, if you're watching, Lean Machine, if you're watching, it's in your future, guys. That match is coming. So, I love this. Super chat here from Engin's fake taxi account. Oh, that's wonderful. I hope Engin's not watching, mate, and he will track you down. He will find you.
Oh my God, this one.
Yeah, it's Bread Man. Let's put that there. He's put, hey, Neil, hope you're doing well. How many times did Ryan and Lachlan go wild at Bachman at Zloty in 2019? And she was single at that time. You know what? I have literally no idea, but Rolly Ray, mate, because he was there. Is there something I don't know? Have we got some wild story here, lads? That you know?
No.
Ryan?
No wild stories. No,
He kind of stuttered there. I guess there is a wild story. I think
Sweet and gracious hosts in Poland. They looked after us well. Marlon, Fia, Sarah. Good guys.
Not giving us any more there. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
don't buy it.
Engin's fake taxi account. You may have
We'll get Ryan drunk and
we'll get him lit up and probably.
I will pass
Clearly didn't go
truth
successfully.
test
Either
on
way for him and any kind of traction with Sarah Bachman, who is a classy young lass. Now then, Carolyn Loomis of Uncle John's Army in the house. She's put Uncle John, Latvian powered. Mate, it could happen. Because let's be honest, anybody who watched Giannis pull, look, I know Giannis didn't have a tough day because he was fortunate in many ways. The rub of the green went his way. He didn't have to pull hard against Jeff because Jeff got damaged in their first real connection. And Giannis had good shape in that as well. But regardless of any of that, okay, brilliant hand and wrist control. Brilliant demonstration of how you arm wrestle. Brilliant demonstration of taking your opponent out of their position in the blink of an eye. Just a magnificent puller. You know.
Giannis is putting on a demonstration of how to disengage an opponent.
Magnificent.
Yeah. That's even when I've gripped up with Giannis and in just practice, whether it is John's place or Zloty or whatever, it's always this overwhelming sense of like, holy shit, I'm not sure I'm even going to connect to my own arm here. Like you're hoping you can get it and not be just totally derailed before anything. So yeah, what he did to Jeff looked amazing. And it was a pity Jeff got injured, but it looked so one-sided. Jeff got injured because he had to trade so much just to have a hope of some connection. So he traded safety for a little bit of connection.
Little frustration there, Ryan, as well. I would disagree that it was very one-sided. I actually believe that when he got the bite on Giannis could not get out of there, and he was smart to concede at that point because he couldn't have won from there. As soon as they regripped, you saw the adjustments. They were very, very clear adjustments, super clear adjustments in his position. And then obviously I'd agree with you 100%. He had to chase the match. And as soon as Jeff started chasing the match, he was getting wound up as well. He was getting frustrated at that point in time because he couldn't get comfortable in the grip. Yeah. But in terms of arm strength, Jeff was Very,
Well,
very,
yeah.
very, very.
That's why I see it so amazing what Giannis does, because the strength gap isn't necessarily big. Like they might have been as strong as each other, but again, it shows the combat side of the sport and Giannis's mastery in that sense, how he can lead the dance and he can always be that one step ahead. And it's what makes him the legend that he is.
Is if you watch the match as well, one of the things to pay attention there is watch the connection on the lower fingers, watch the use of the pronation, the controlling of the angle, and watch the degree of flexion in his wrist and hand. It is extreme flexion. The degree of flexion. It's exceptional. Just look at it. Watch the matches, and even with Tom. I mean, Tom was busted. He had nothing left. But forget all of that. It's irrelevant. It's the position. It's the shapes and the angles that Giannis hits fluidly and effortlessly in really fast starts, heartbeat starts, and he's there. He's exactly where he needs to be. It's textbook. It's mega. Man's a machine. Absolutely. He's like he'll never step outside of that line of perfection. You know, he will not. He wouldn't do a Sandris. If you said to him, "Oh, get in a hook," he wouldn't go there. He wouldn't. He stays in that area. He's like consummate professional. You know, Ray's much more chaos. Rolly Ray's like filthy. Whereas, you know,
I like to be there.
Yeah, you do.
I really do.
Yeah. For every element within Giannis that represents squeaky clean, there's a equal and opposite element within Rolly Ray that represents filth. You know,
Giannis said this was the first time where he said there was nothing to add. Like, technically, I did everything right. He said the matches I won, the matches I lost, technically I did everything right from the positions I was in. I was like, cool, because from Dubai he was very angry. He calls me and he starts lecturing me, and I'm like, I know, but you know, I still won 4-3 cool match. He's like, yeah, but you could have done. I'm like, man, come on, just let me have this.
Mate, that was a great match to watch. A fantastic match to watch. Yourself and that came off. Sometimes the matches don't come off and you're gutted, you know. I'm going to be lie. RVJ and Sasha headline match didn't come off.
Neil, were you surprised when I won the first round?
Not necessarily. No. It was kind of like
because I was.
You remember when we spoke on the phone? And I said, it's an interesting one because it's a toss of a coin match. It could be over and he's just too fast and flashes through you 6 times. Yeah, and I'll be gutted if that's the case. I said, why I like this match. When we first spoke about it, you'll remember the conversation. I said, why I really like this match is because one of the areas where Craig is potentially susceptible is where you go directly at him. You stand on the train track, and that's your style. You love to go there. So it was quite interesting that you did that straight off the bat, and I figured that you would. And I was praying that if you did that, we'd get that bang stop moment, and then it'd be into a battle. And I knew that you'd be able to hold your own in there. I didn't know whether you'd win or lose, but I figured it'd be a screamer, and it turned out that way. So I was really, really pleased when it did. Really,
I was actually really impressed that Craig was able to adjust, because after round one, you did surprise me, Ray. I thought you were going to 6-0 it after that. I thought, oh wow, if you were brave enough round one to jump in front of that moving train and catch it like you did outside of straps, I thought, oh man, you're going to crush him if it gets to the straps. So I was impressed that Craig protected his pronation really well to make it a match, because yeah, it was, and again, it was a match of the event for me personally. I loved it, but you did surprise me that to jump in front of out of straps someone who has a reputation of flash pins is ballsy. So you did incredibly well that round one.
For this match, I was thinking that he would get in a hook with me, because I'm arm wrestling mostly top rollers, so I can hold the cup. This is why I was holding him. But I was really preparing sitting in deep. When he gets on my bicep in these positions, that's what we've been working on for 4 weeks, just for this. But a lot of top roll stuff as well. So in the first round, when I hit him dead on, he get in the hook, and then he went back because he felt he couldn't push me there. So he tried, but he went back. And from there, he changed the whole scenario. In my head, it should have been hook, and I was going to escape. You know, I was going to try to top roll him or something. It was the opposite. You know?
Yeah. It's definitely a match I'd do again. I'd definitely rerun that match. I think it's a really engaging match. Craig was distraught but happy.
Oh yeah, he was super happy.
Super happy at the match. You know how I've said loads of times when I've been on here, if you get in a match like that, you're not that down about losing. I mean, you're down about losing. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to be the dick that, you don't care about losing. It's all the taking part. Bullshit. It's terrible. You know, but after you've gone outside and done the 3 times slamming your penis in the car door, which is mandatory after such a loss, as we all know. Once you've got past that initial pain, sorrow, heartache, and, you know, maybe pigged out a bit, made you feel better because food's a comfort for many people, including myself. As you can probably tell when I stand sideways, I'll lie down. Then after that, you come up for air and you think, you know what? That was really fun. I really enjoyed that match. And I think there was a lot of evidence of that at the weekend. People got in screamers. They got in mega battles. They came out the other end, and win or lose, you're like, that was bloody good. You went back and there was that vibrancy about people. Yeah. If you get run over, that sucks. And sometimes if you run over your opponent, it's kind of boring as well.
Yeah, you feel bad.
Vlad and Borgi, they were hugging all day after every match. They're like, oh, that was so good.
Did Vlad black out in one match?
No, he got a cramp in his arm and he just kind of, he didn't black out, but he was like in pain.
Yeah, I wondered what the frig happened when he dropped down. I thought, oh God.
Yeah, me too. I thought like he blacked out.
Yeah, it's like, please don't have a brain hemorrhage. That's it, dying off the day.
He looked so destroyed in that match, but every time there's ready go, he's back at it. It's like that was impressive. But Borgi is phenomenal armor. Everyone's asking me this, and I'm going to clarify. Everyone's like, was Vlad injured? No, Borgi was better. That's it.
Borgi is really good. I mean, I actually do believe he's the best 80 kilo puller on earth.
I think so too.
He's
with right arm.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Sasha and Bojdar have agreed to come to Australia. They said they need kind of 3-4 weeks notice whenever Australian borders open up. And then I've said, yep, cool, I'll pay for your travel. And we're keen. We've got 3 potential people to face them. Obviously, myself, Lachlan, and Jordan. Depending on who wins out of Lachlan and I, will face Sasha. But who faces Bojdar? A 95 kilo Jordan or the loser of me and Lachlan?
Shouldn't you guys be pulling like Sonev and Krasimir?
Yeah, but Bojdar,
aren't you bigger? Yeah,
I'm 102 kilos. I mean, yeah. We're
not Bojdar will give a shit. He'll put,
Of course, he doesn't give a shit. But
Bojdar said he would bulk to 90 if he was going to face myself.
He cannot get. He cannot get bigger.
Don't say it's the wrong way, mate. He doesn't need to.
No.
Okay. Yeah. No. That's his words. I'm just saying his words. But would a 95 kilo Jordan be a match, or is it?
No.
Is it?
I don't think any of you guys are match for. Maybe
Lachlan. Oh my goodness.
Not even.
But either way,
Jordan's awesome. He's mega. He's a great puller. Love the dude.
Yeah.
He's in.
Did you see what he did yesterday?
Yeah.
Jordan had a screamer yesterday against Vitaly Mateo. It was awesome.
He's an exciting arm wrestler. He's a very good arm wrestler. It's just there's levels, and Bojdar is the top level.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll
either way, Bojdar and Sasha are going to come to Australia, and they'll face two of us.
Why not? 100% for that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you any odds for that, but why not? Why not?
Man, it's going to be a lot of fun. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Quality. So we just had a super chat from Dakota Adams. Thanks for your super chat. Really appreciate it. And we got Kadetcha, made me a believer big time. Hell of a performance. I mean, yeah.
I'll tell you, I was in Ryan's corner for both of those matches, right and left.
What do you want to say?
And I was just like, there was not much to be done, to tell you the truth. I mean, his explosive power is off of the charts.
That was a different version of that man. Very, very different. He's polished his game a great deal. Just his stance. Every time you see him, he's got that little bit better. In the Krasimir match, he was still standing away from the table with his body. there were major issues that he's starting to correct. And I mean, if you imagine that guy, if you get him harnessed up with someone like the Latvians, the Bulgarians, just someone who's got the time and the inclination to put an arm around him, take him into a darkened room and just break down all the disparate elements that go to make his game. Okay, this
might be the one.
This is a problem. This is a problem. Let's fix this. Let's work this. Let's teach you this. And get him, if he became crafted, he became a crafted technical puller, that's a pro.
Yeah, I actually put a fairly big bets on Kadecha becoming genuinely, like, he's someone that could become the guy that dethrones Levan and Vitali.
Or at least gets a challenge.
I also see the potential for him to become the technical arm wrestler as well. Like, usually strength is a curse, as we all know. It's hard to become refined when you're such smart. A big guy. Because it's hard, yeah, and that's what I see it in Kadecha. I see that he thinks about the way he moves quite a lot, and although he's still somewhat green and not highly refined, you can see the signs that that's not going to be for long, that he's on the path. So, yeah, what he did was really
potential is astronomical, mate.
Yeah, he's a bigger human than Levan in a frame sense, isn't he? I remember when I saw him in Poland, I was like, oh my goodness,
yeah,
wow, okay.
He's big enough guy to make him. He looks big at Giants Live.
Yeah.
He looked big at Giants Live. You know, the man is really, really big. So I would love to see him just get focused technically, and let's see what he can do.
Great.
So much potential.
And terrifying.
Yeah, he really is.
Oh yeah.
I do feel sorry for SB. That SB
couldn't have had it worse.
Yeah, the travel situation for him was so rough that you can't take anything away from Kadecha's performance and win, but you also feel like within SB's heart, I'm sure he feels like, but that wasn't the best me. I'm sure he feels that. So I kind of feel sorry for him.
Still a couple of super chats I'm going to knock over. Courage, and I'm sure you'll agree on this. He's put, Neil, did you see the little heat up between Braun and Devon? Think it was real or just a little gimmick? I would bet my penis on the fact that was 100% a gimmick.
Yeah.
There's WWE wrestling. Yeah, suddenly it becomes real. Sure.
Yeah, there was no doubt whatsoever.
So getting on real and fake stuff. So you and Lachlan now hate each other. Yeah, you deleted each other.
But here's the truth on this. That was very much planned, but very much real.
Yeah.
When I said, let me clarify that. When we agreed for a match 2 months ago, we said we're training partners. By no means can we be training partners between here and there. We've got to the point in Australia where we're both validly in a position to fight for number one rank. And we are going to press pause on being buddies, and we're going to do everything within our physical, mental power to defeat each other. And we said, look, go for it. You want to, whatever happens. I'm coming for the kill. And Lachlan said to me at the time, he's like, I go savage when I'm in a super match, and there's no holds barred here. And I'm like, that's cool. Bring it. You're going to need it. And it's just progressed naturally. So we gave each other permission to be our full competitive selves. And that's what you saw yesterday. That was real yesterday. I promise you.
I mean, let's be honest, it went way above normal.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, Former Limits Larry, right? He's coming here. So some people love this. And Matt's just put, Ryan, your promo was epic. What did you feel when you and Lachlan were arm battling there? He looked stout, but you're a big man.
It felt exactly like I expected it to feel like. It felt the physical nature of Lachlan is evident. We all know how strong he is. He's a brute, and it felt exactly like I expected. And what I mean by that is when he grabbed me at first and he took the fundamentals away from me. He had his wrist carved and he pulled me. There is no way I can ever pull back from there, and that's why I told him to fuck off and pushed him in the chest to get it back to center so we could feel. And then it escalated. It just freaking escalated. And neither of us are going to back down. This is a fighting for number one rank situation. No one's taking a backward step. And That shit was real. I assure you that shit was real yesterday. 100%. But what I felt in an arm wrestling sense, exactly what I expected. If he bends his wrist, I'm screwed. But at center, holy shit, that dude's wrist is vulnerable. Trust me. I'm cracking that thing. I am cracking that wrist back. I promise. When he's out there straight where he's going to need to be, come ready, go. He is in trouble.
Well, you felt
I'm very
much
close
from
to
him.
becoming a lead believer. Very close, but not yet.
You felt a lot. You felt a lot from him in practice for years, haven't you? Let's be honest. So you usually know your spots. You'll know where the spots are.
Yeah, I know where the spots are. He knows where the spots are. Hand on heart, the match could go either way. It's there for both of us to win. It really is. It's the physical balance is not as one-sided as a lot of people thought it was. It's close. It's close enough that legitimately there's a gray zone of like, all right, if it's somewhere in here, it's going to come down to execution. And when I say execution, it's going to come down to who can get it to the lane that they need it in most. There's the lane I will destroy him. There's a lane I will be destroyed. Let's fight for that lane. And that's what it is. That's what it's going to be.
My bad.
It's all right. So while we're doing that, we've got a comment, super chat from Engin's fake taxi account. Neil, do you think Ryan is natural? Are we talking Ryan Espy or are we talking Ryan Bowen? Who are we talking here, mate? On the answer to it, to be honest, it's not my place to comment on other people's status in terms of the use of PEDs. They're all big boys and they can comment for themselves. So those are questions, unfortunately, mate, you'd have to ask the man themselves. I'm not.
Yeah, those questions are always best in private circles. Develop the trust of someone and then have a chat with them.
Yeah, it's not for me to comment on anybody's status in that respect. I don't know. Everybody takes their own chance. Like if you ask me if I'm natural, if I have been natural, if I've always been natural, I can tell you that, and that's yes. Outside of that, I don't know about other people. Let's have a look. What else have we got?
Hey, so do you guys notice a growing number of incidences where these heated lead-ups are becoming a little bit more normalized now? Oh, that's very nice. But do you like Ryan with
just ask me what I was drinking? Sorry, go on.
with your little real, not real work shoot incident, and then we had Braun and Devin, and then of course I tried a lot of shenanigans with David Bradford on the lead up to that. Is that something? One, there's been a lot of feedback that I've got, people who really, really like it, and people who are like, this is degrading the natural amazingness of arm wrestling. Where are you guys at with all the worked conflict?
I understand.
Neil just left.
I understand and appreciate all of the different viewpoints. To the people who want it to be a very gentlemanly sport and all pure, and look, I can respect that, but I think that those people need to understand that they are a quite a small percentage in the scheme of things, because the numbers don't lie. When we talk about viewership, we simply get tremendously more viewership if there is real emotion in it. And conflict brings real emotion for the fans as well. If a fan sides with one particular athlete and they see that real emotion, and this is what, when people asked me yesterday, was that real with Lachlan and I said, you can't fake the human reaction to that. When you get pushed in the chest like that, the hormones in your body, you react, whether they're your friend or not. It's real. It freaking is real. And the fans see that and feel that too. So that makes them far more interested and invested emotionally in the outcome of the match. So that is a very good thing for the sport. Can it be poorly done? Yes. If it's terribly obviously fake, yeah, it becomes cringeworthy. But there's still a percentage of the arm wrestling world or the sports world that doesn't care. They're happy for WWE is a tremendously successful franchise, isn't it? Not to say that arm wrestling should be that. It definitely shouldn't. But anyone who looks down on the drama of conflict, I think, is they're missing the opportunities and the point of it. So the Devon Braun one, I think that was just clearly an act, and that's fine. But and a bit of publicity, more of a promotion than a recognition that you had a WWE star there. Lachlan and my comparison, very different. That's two competitive guys fighting for a genuine arm wrestle. Like Braun and Devon are not arm wrestling for anything significant. It was an act. Lachlan and I are arm wrestling for the number one rank in Australia. It's very real to both of us. That was very real emotion from both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray, have you answered?
No, I just don't care that much. Whatever happens. More fierceness brings more interest to the match for sure, you know. But I don't care, you know. It depends, you know. Some people are still friends. Some people want to get enemies, and some people are enemies, and you know. And sometimes you get heated up. So I don't care that much, you know. But I think it's all good for the sport, you know.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
If it doesn't go outside arm wrestling,
there's kind of that. Let's be honest, arm wrestling isn't a fight sport in that respect. You don't go around cracking people. You wouldn't endorse that. You don't want that to become part of the sport. It's not about being violent with people. If you want to do that, go UFC. You know, that's where you can do that. Even then, it's in the cage you do it, not outside. You know, it's controlled. You don't want that kind of thing. But the point I'm making there is, if it was real, and you started to get in that, you know, pushing and shoving and it's escalating, then it would become a problem. Because the other day when we were at Arm Wars, we had kids, you know, women and children in the crowd there. You don't want that. You don't want a situation where you've got big, powerful guys chucking it about. That's not what you want. It's no good for anyone. For kids who are watching the sport, that's a frightening scenario for a child. You start seeing things like that, and I wouldn't endorse that at all. It's good to have a degree of interest in arm wrestling, and anything that piques that is great. But there's a very big difference in what we saw from you and Lachlan Adair. I don't think the pushing needs to be there, if I'm honest. Just the verbals is enough. There's a fine line, isn't there? You can sort of get that. You can get that intensity in with the verbals. And we've seen that a lot, just the mind games and so on. You can get the intensity in via the mind games, and that's what I would say can be really entertaining. And that can also go other ways. Then you can take sometimes the sort of violence element out of it and make it more. It can even be funny. So you've got an angle there where it can get one guy's going more aggressive and the other guy can disarm him by being a bit more funny. So it opens a lot more opportunities up in that respect. But I think intensity and character is a massive essential in arm wrestling, in the spread of arm wrestling, the development of arm wrestling. You just got to be that fine line, like you say. You don't want it to become WWE, and you don't want it to become like everybody thinks that the way you get this bigger is by, you know, trying to rev it up and fake headbutting someone or something. That it can get a bit silly. So there's a fine line to be walked, and some people are going to play with it and it'll come off, and others will play with it and it won't. You know, I mean,
what do you reckon, John? You asked the question. What's your opinion? I'm curious.
Well, obviously, I tried a few different tactics, which I would say were quite successful in raising the level of my match with David Bradford, right? Regardless of the fact that it was 6-0 at the end of the day, a match that could have easily just been a dark match was elevated to a level that was much higher than it probably would have been had I just been like, oh yes, David and I, we're great friends. You know, we're really training hard. I'm feeling great, you know. But as soon as I started talking about having my way with the Queen, like, people thought I was serious. This is the other thing. There's a certain percentage of people that are out there that are not capable of understanding what is reality and what is not reality. I tried very hard to make sure.
Wait. You didn't F the Queen?
I'm sorry to give this.
But I saw the picture.
But I never made it to Buckingham Palace.
Well, it devastated you, that, Ray, on it. Yeah.
See, this is part of the problem.
I'm going to cry in a shower later. So thank you, John. Yeah,
I know I'm actually a little upset about it too, but I think it worked, for what it is. I think there were things that I would try to do again better. And there's things that I probably wouldn't do again, because, not everybody likes, it's just like, okay, how can I please the biggest amount of people, right? How can I get the most amount of people invested one way or another? Whether you want to cheer me or you want to jeer me, I don't really care. Because even the people who, after I lost the match, were like, ha ha, I'm like, well, I still got you then, didn't I?
Yeah.
I mean, I still win either way. So for me, it was all success. It was all good. And I think there is a line to walk. I just think that arm wrestling has such a long way to go that this is a very viable way to at least, in modern times, boost us up a bit.
100%. I thought you did an excellent job of that, John.
Thank you.
I thought you had a lot of fun with it, mate. I think like 90% of the people 100% bought into that.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't invested in the match, as you say previously, yourself and David, who were lesser known names on a card that had some really big names involved, became a big feature for everyone. Never mind for the fans of the sport. I wanted to see it. I got really invested in it, but I don't know whether you felt the same, Ray. But I was like, here we go, because it was on. You both came to win. Really, you know what I mean? All the smoke and the mirrors and the bullshit and everything, the showmanship aside, it was a precursor to you guys showing up that day to win. You both came to win. I mean, you were adrenaline hopping like a mother when we. It was great.
I was in sidelines, and Uncle John was just, tearing up the stage, and I'm like, "What's going on here?"
It was
like, "What's going on here?"
The adrenaline crash mid-match was like,
John's like, what was it?
It hit you like you suddenly went pale, didn't you? In pissing sweat. Were you aware of the?
It was like this.
Going down.
I told this story the other night on Arm Wrestling After Dark, but it was after the third match, and I was like, I'm just like, nightmare. It's nightmare because I've done all this work and now I'm down 3-0, right? Yeah. And it was like I was just in this fog, and all of a sudden, out of the mist, here's Neil Pickup in front of me, and you're just like, John,
I thought you're gonna die.
You're having a huge freaking adrenaline dump right now. And it was at that point I realized that my entire body was soaked with sweat.
Oh yeah.
I was just like,
wow. And it came in a round. It was like
just like that. Just like that.
You were fine and interacting with the crowd well.
Yeah.
And then I just saw your shoulders slump and everything is like, and I thought, my dad Wiz was beside me, and Wiz goes to me and said, "Oh shit." Wiz seriously he went, "Oh shit, John's hit the wall bad." And
it was true.
Just sweating like hell.
But I'll give you credit, because that short little moment where you popped in and you came out of the mist and you kind of gave me a verbal slap around. Now the last 3 matches were optically much better than the first 3.
Oh yeah. And
I will give credit to David that he allowed me to get into some positions to make it look probably better than it would have had he been cutthroat about it. But it did change. It did help me.
You were working angles, John. You definitely did move the arm more, and obviously David was game to test himself and to try a couple of different spots. You never stopped going through the gears. You were similar to Sanders in that respect. It was like, okay, that didn't work. Try this, try that. I mean, at one point you got his hand.
Yeah. I was trying to tear his fingers off.
You were literally he ended up like pulling upwards like this, didn't he?
Yeah.
And you were trying to rip his finger down into the back. I could see him looking at you like, what the
Yeah.
And then you came off, and you honestly, mate, the match before that, you were engaging with the crowd, shouting at them, and you looked fine. If you watch the video, you'll see you're fine. And then you just gone. And I went over to Ryan, and when we were coming back out of the corner, you set off back to the table after we had a chat. I started chatting again, commentating on the mic. I looked across at Ryan, and Ryan went, "Fuck." He's like, he's really gone, really bad.
Well, it was, for being no excuse. And let me just be very, very clear. No matter what I would have changed, I think David Bradford was just too strong for me.
Yeah, that day.
However, in that moment, the travel, the poor sleep, the different diet, it all came together at the same time. Plus the fact that I was so high adrenaline the day before for the right hand, because the right-handed match, I was losing my mind on the stage for that one too. And it all just really came in and overwhelmed me. And you told me beforehand, he's like, you really got to be careful with the jet lag stuff. And I'm like,
remember we had that first chat the first day when we were talking about when you want to do it. And I said, you probably don't appreciate how bad the travel's going to hit you at some point. And I don't know when.
3 days.
You've got to try and acclimatize. Thing is, though, I've done it a number of times. And sometimes you get to an event like that.
And then it comes just later.
Well, you just want to be, it's sort of like, you sort of subconsciously chuck yourself into the venue and the event and done it on WL events loads of times. And then you'll wake up and it'll be like the afternoon of the show. And for no apparent reason, you're just ruined.
Yeah.
And you don't know why. No reason, you're not nervous, you're not, but you suddenly just crash.
Yeah.
You just, oh God.
It was,
it's horrible.
Yeah, great learning experience though for anyone who considers, doing these big events and traveling, because my travel was perfect. It was just 20 hours of it, right?
It was military planned, wasn't it though?
Oh my God, it was down to the minute.
Do this. You had it dialed in. Pop the wall.
I'm no Bulgarian, okay?
Yeah, there's an in story there, guys. We'll leave
man.
Yeah, my God, ragged.
But overall, huge learning experience. Really great. No regrets whatsoever about anything that happened over the weekend.
So I'm going to knock over a couple of super chats real quick. Try and do this in some kind of semblance of order, because I've seen a few come flying in and I've missed them. So let's have a look at this. Here we go. So, Dakota Adams, what do you guys think of Derek Smith versus Tim Bresnan being announced? If Derek wins, I'd like to see him versus Kadetcha in the next Arm Wars.
Didn't know that was announced.
No, I didn't know that was announced, and that's a very interesting match.
I'd heard whispers of it.
I thought Tim was going to pull Prudnik, but because Prudnik's out.
COVID.
Is Prudnik out? Shit. Okay.
Oh.
I had heard that Derek.
Oh, it's going to get everyone.
I don't know the tournament or the context other than I don't even know where I heard it, but I read it somewhere in the last sort of 24, 48 hours. So that's cool. That's a good opportunity for Derek.
On the Brisbane telepathy line, where the rest of the world are.
It floats around in the
print and the web and things like that. In Brisbane, Danny Tesh sends out signals.
Here it is.
And everybody picks it up.
But I think Derek's pulled Tim before. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think years ago. Again, the telepathy line's telling me that Derek has pulled Tim in a super match once upon a time. So I think it's another opportunity. It was kind of so obviously that Tim's someone who's just so well established in credibility. He's been doing it for a long time at the top level. So Derek, it's a great opportunity for him to have a crack. Derek's wanting to crack into that top tier echelon and to be recognized. Tim's one of those potential tickets in for him. So,
and we spoke about Kadetcha's potential earlier. We said about Kadetcha's potential, and you've got to say that Derek has a similar potential because super intelligent lad, immersed in the sport as deep as it gets. I mean, you know, he's having a bath in arm wrestling. That mother has left the taps running. You know, he is really on it. He's right in as far as he can get. And he understands it. He gets it. He's got a good degree of versatility at the table, good athleticism in terms of his movement for a very big man. I mean, we're talking about what does Derek weigh? 400 pound plus? I mean, he's got to be around the 400. He's a massive man, isn't he? 6'7", 6'8", big dude. 6'8". And when you meet Derek in person, he is like, oh yeah, that's a big lad. He's a big individual, you know. But if he joins it all up again, massive.
Derek hasn't put the runs on the board like Kadecha has yet, but you've got to suspect that given the intent of Derek over the last 12, 24 months, that he may have taken a significant step forward in power than he used to have. So yeah, this might be just one of those opportunities for us to see exactly where we saw him defeat Tom Nelson quite handily. Didn't look like he was troubled in any way, shape, or form. So that's an indicator, but Tim Bresnan will be a bigger indicator. If they have a war, that's a real thing. Massive.
If he runs through Tim Bresnan,
if he does
I think
that,
there'll be a collective what the fluff moment.
Yeah.
Very similar to what we've just seen, actually. Very similar to what we've just seen. Where, you know, whatever you think of Ryan Espy, Ryan had a terrible, terrible journey over. I would love that match to have happened without that. And I think Ryan would be the last man to make any excuses. But Ryan was massive at Armwrestling's reality check.
Mm-hmm.
He looked massive.
He was big. The biggest thing I've seen.
Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
No.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
Smaller belly, but he was 170 kg.
He looked good though, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
He looked friggin' strong as balls. I mean, if he hadn't had that terrible journey, man looked ready. He looked like he came to kill people. He was fabulous. So I was gutted for him. And Ryan's such a great bloke. I mean, he's acid. I absolutely love Ryan Espy. He's everything that's good about the sport of arm wrestling, in my opinion. Courage has just come in with a super chat. Thanks, brother. Really appreciate the support. He's put good job on Arm Wars, Uncle John. Cheers from Newfoundland. Converting people as he goes.
All right.
No one special with a super chat. No one special 321. Thanks for your super chat, mate. But Ryan, I had a dream last night. Here we go. How long have we been on? We've been on for like an hour and a half, and it's about to go down.
In people's dreams now.
Okay. So, Ryan, I had a dream last night that RVJ was laughing at the idea of him losing to you. Something tells me that you can beat him. Oh, no. Take him out once you're done with Lachlan.
Oh. Yeah. The RVJ situation post Arm Wars was a really just odd one for me. RVJ has a set of ears on him that can only hear criticism when it comes out of my mouth. And in fact,
you did criticize him, though, dude.
Like, you
did, didn't you?
Much of a degree.
Like, it's like walking into it as your missus comes out of a shoe shop in her shoes and says, "What do you think of them?" And you're like, "They're shit."
Like the analysis I did of his match was fair. I mean, the dude lost 6-0. The dude looked like he was.
I think it was more the bicep thing that pissed him off.
The bicep thing was a genuine. What's going on with the bicep? It looks like it's got an injury, and I called it what's with a flat tire looking bicep. It was a bizarre photo. It was his photo. I was like, what is the story with this? Is there something up with his bicep? Anyway, regardless, there was really no deliberate intent to get under his skin. I didn't even try. And he just lost it. But anyway, I think that RVJ and it feels like it's an inevitable match somewhere in the future. I don't think either of us are pursuing the match, but I think everyone wants to see it all of a sudden. And
I thought you were going for it, mate. I'm not going to lie. I thought you were absolutely teeing it up. Really? I thought, here goes Ryan. He's thinking it and he wants to pull RVJ again. I really did. I figured that was your angle.
No. He's actually one of the last people I'd want to pull. Like, honestly, I don't.
He is.
No.
Admit, Ryan. I don't believe a goddamn thing.
He causes me
why you
too
lie?
much stress.
Let's have a quick line.
You guys might think I like drama. I don't like drama. He causes me too much drama. He is too volatile to deal with. It's stressful to go, oh, shit, all right, you got RVJ teeing off again. All right, cool. And
I was trying to avoid drama with a dude who's just taken a really upsetting loss, right? Last thing I would do is go in there and immediately jump on his ass and then just think, I know what, I'll even go on and knock his physicality. That'd probably do it. Particularly someone who you know's a bit of a volatile character where you're involved.
Drama avoided. Drama avoided.
Yeah.
Ryan's closing his laptop. He's like, I'm avoiding it.
Okay, I don't seek it, but I certainly don't avoid it. Well, I'll say that.
This is going in delusional.
Yeah, I must admit, Ryan, that is
correcting yourself in 2 minutes.
That's like, I don't seek a speeding ticket, but I'm in a Lambo and there is a fast lane. You know, fucking hell, what a absolute! It's like I don't avoid it.
You know, RBJ would be struggling, yes, with the concept of potentially losing me. In his mind, he would. I just don't think there's a conceivable way he could handle it or could conceive it or whatever. But the reality is that kind of problematic reality for him is he knows that the gap is closing if it hasn't already closed. There more people have the opinion now that it is a match than 6 months ago, and in 6 months' time from now, it'll probably be even more people have an opinion that it is a match genuinely. To me, RBJ is like Chris Gobby. There was once upon a time when Chris Gobby was super vocal at me, saying it was inconceivable that I could ever even hang with him, and he was saying because I don't have any runs on the board. And my reality passed him before I actually had the runs on the board that were sufficient to Chris Gobby level. So it's the same thing now with Rob. I don't have runs on the board sufficient to, on paper, even be in the conversation with Rob. But my reality is that well, I am. So that's a difficult place for a person like Rob, that if I was to beat Rob, it's would. It's a difficult
thing to say that, though, Ryan, at the moment, because you're unproven.
It's exactly, and that's why it would hurt so much for Rob, because if I had proven results, then he'd be fine with the match.
I think Rob would actually wind his neck in himself if he knew that if you weren't as vocal, and you might be right, mate.
Yeah,
you might be iron, you might be incredible, but the fact that we don't know that you're incredible yet, because you've not done anything that's incredible.
No, I agree.
And the fact that you jumped on him after pulling, and you did jump on his ass, let's be honest.
No, I didn't. I disagree. I didn't jump on his ass. Like I said, I gave an analysis.
Yeah, I think you kind of it certainly appeared like you were looking for it, you know.
But like I said, I think it appears that way because of Rob's reaction. If Rob was not if I talked about Uncle John getting crushed too, and Uncle John hasn't even probably noticed that I said it.
Not yet. It's coming. It's coming.
But I'm waiting.
That's the thing. Like I said, I think I could say to Rob that he's looking good, and I actually this is a direct quote from me. Let's see if I can get it exactly right. I said that Rob, after 6-0 defeat, Rob may go away with his tail between his legs, but I hope that he takes this as motivation to go away and train and get more serious and take it as a science. I literally said, I hope he goes away and finds motivation to become better. I literally, and I said that in a supportive way. I said that in a that's my hope, because I'm someone who, I'm fascinated by Rob's potential. He is one of those genetic freaks that has all the gifts and has never done anything with it. We've all said it before. I like to see how good people can get. And Rob's one of those people that could be stupid good if you'd only ever do it.
Right, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Rob could potentially still have won that match. Almost. He had a lane to win it. I don't think that was the right Rob vision. I don't think Rob came ready, came joined up. I just don't. You know, I love Rob. I'm a big Rob fan, but that wasn't Rob.
He came in
not one him.
Tactically and strategically unprepared for that match.
Correct.
Exactly. And if I said that like you just did, Neil, he would lose his shit at me for saying it. Well, he would lose his shit at me if I came in and said Rob tactically explained it like
number one, he pulled Sasho Andreev. Okay.
Yeah.
Sasho is excellent. I mean, he's really excellent.
Of course he is.
So there's got to be that acknowledgement that he's excellent. And on that day, he didn't get completely. This was one thing that pissed me off a little bit, because it's not like it was like this. Oh well, that underlines it. Then obviously, he's no chance. He got murdered. He got this, but he didn't really get murdered. He had a lane to win.
He lost.
That lane to win was to jump on the hand and drive down. Lost. When it went to straps, weeks before, we were saying if it goes to straps, he's in deep shit. I mean, pretty matter of fact, everybody I spoke to Devon, spoke to various people. And we're all like, yeah, if it goes to straps, he's got to keep it out of straps. He's got to jump up on his hand. Pretty much the same lane that we've seen him get some wins over Todd Hutchins on.
Mhm.
That lane that he's very, very efficient. And that usually comes from explosivity. It's when Rob's on his toes, he's bouncing, he's alert, he's alive, and he fires. There was no fire in him.
Yeah, exactly.
That day.
And that's got to be a criticism that he's got to be allowed to hear, that there was no fire. Where was Rob?
Yeah, he wasn't there that day.
But
But
again, and
to cap that off with, and his bicep looked shit and his breath stunk. I mean, it's like, that's what it's going to light him up. Like when Adrian Popescu is the most humble dude in the world. But when you went on and dwelled on the fact that he had no fundamentals, and you came back to it like 4 or 5 times, how can you expect somebody watching that not to think that you were trying to talk yourself into a match with him? That's what it looks like. If I was trying to talk myself into a match,
when I read a match, like on the Popescu thing, I'll say it again now that I thought his arm wrestling was bad. He won, and he's obviously strong, but I thought he did a bad technical job. I thought he left himself vulnerable for David Bradford to make a comeback where he should have been able to close that door technically. And when I speak of fundamentals, it's not a strength. It was fundamentals.
Brian,
it's like you would never see Giannis Amelins leave himself vulnerable like Popescu did in a technical sense.
Giannis would never do that, but most people in arm wars would, because that would make the match more interesting. You will see the matches where it looks like,
he let that rope out. He let that rope out just for the.
I think
I'll play that.
A lot of things can happen when you start playing.
How I read it.
I think a lot of things can happen when you start and you allow the other guy to actually get his work in. Then you can put in positions that's not going to look nice and everything else.
But when Frodo does that, Frodo, for instance, like he's the first guy that comes to mind when I think of letting rope out for the sake of a war and glory and entertainment. Frodo's the best at that. Frodo will do that and still, in his arm at least, be really protected. He won't allow something. He will let his wrist go.
But that's because Frodo allows you get on his position. That's the other thing.
Frodo's still secure. Where Popescu to me looked like he was a bee's dick away from being in a position that he could never have come back from. And it looked just like, I was like, oh man, to me it looked like Popescu was clearly stronger, but he looked like he went so close to a position where he could have lost it. And I just thought, oh man, that's.
And like, you're basing this, your opinion, just to be clear and to sort of give you some rope, you're basing your opinions of Popescu on his right arm match against David Bradford.
Yes, that's the match I was saying. I haven't seen any other.
Well, I'm going to say that Ray is exactly right in that, because Adrian was letting rope out big time. Yeah. When you see Adrian Popescu pull on his left arm, talk to me again and tell me what you think of his fundamentals.
Yeah, I haven't seen the match.
Neil will not post.
We were probably swayed by that, guys, to be fair, because we did. We all watched Adrian on the left arm, and we all came away. I mean, we talked about it collectively before you and Pradeep had spoken about it, and before you were talking about the fundamentals. This was us saying Adrian Popescu is impressive as frig. I mean, he's really, really good. And then the night after, we see you going, he's got dog shit fundamentals,
Oh, it's classic Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
I'm not,
but you said my match might be the match of the event. Yeah, you said my match.
Yeah,
might
yours was. Yeah.
Okay, for me, I agree with everything Ryan is saying now.
Hey, I just wanted to say that while Ryan devolves into lower forms of, drama seeking, I had a very good conversation with RVJ, and I'm happy to say that we are rekindling some of that relationship, which makes me very, very happy.
You enjoy the time you've got.
Listen, it's you look at Rob Bidgen, and Rob's biggest failing is that he can't show up consistently. And if you asked Rob, if you put Rob on the spot when he's calm, relaxed Rob, he is very aware of that. He's very, very aware of the reasons behind it. And he's very aware of the reasons why he can't guarantee that he's going to show up. And if he has a failing, that's it. Whereas some guys, to be honest, Giannis is a really good example of that. And I'm going to say Sasho is actually. Sasho's a bloody good example of it. Sasho is dialed in. He is going to show up. He's a measured quantity. And outside of injury or anything like that, pretty much he is not going to be mentally flustered in any way. And the man is going to show up at that level day in, day out, week in, week out. And he's going to perform at a very consistent level. Why Rob is really interesting is because he's got that little bit of unhingedness about him. He's got that little bit of excitement about him where you don't know what's coming. He's a bit like Vitor Belfort in UFC back in the day, where if he shows up, he's going to put somebody head in the fifth row. And if he doesn't show up, he's going to get run over by a guy that you're like, no way. You know, and Rob's got instances in his career where he's taken a loss that has made him human. And then the next week, he's gone out and given somebody who you wouldn't expect that he could based on that. And he runs somebody really close.
Well, that's cool. I think that's a cool thing about him, but he's got to be able to take the good with the bad. If that's who he is, then that's who he is. He had a shit performance. He's got to own it.
Yeah.
But he got on his live and said, if I had 2 months instead of 1 month, I would, and his words, I would have fucking won that match and yada, yada, yada. And you'd all have to eat my dick or whatever he said. Like, he loses his shit, says if he had 2 months, he would have won instead of, in 2 months, he would have defeated Sasha instead of 1. Straight away, to me, that's a sour loss. If you can't say, I don't know. So I think he's got to own it.
Sasha was very, very solid that day and out arm wrestled Rob on the day. He made Rob very, very uncomfortable in the setups. He arm wrestled very intelligently. Sasha is doing more than you think he's doing. He's got some high level stuff going on. He utilizes his tools very well. He's a very, very awkward customer to arm wrestle against, and he's extraordinarily strong. And Sasha himself is not that far removed from RVJ in that weirdo one-off thing. I mean, you only have to look at his past, his entry into the sport, how well he's done in the sport. The fact that he came with very minimal experience as a youngster, walked into one of the most difficult arm wrestling environments in the world and the most high-level arm wrestling environments in the world and performed at an extremely high level from the get-go. You know, I've just read a comment in the chat here. It says, I can't even read it properly. YouTube insists on banning people. And he's put, Neil also says Rob not murdered by Sasho. Yeah, that's what I said. Not murdered. No. He got beaten technically on the day, mate. That's what happened.
Yeah.
The guy.
Did I use the word murdered in my review? I'm pretty sure I didn't. I said decisive victory from Sasha Andreev. I didn't say murdered. I said it was a decisive victory, and Rob will go away with the tail 20 legs.
The win of Sasha on the day was emphatic. Sure, you can't argue with that. You cannot argue with that. He arm wrestled Rob on that day, but I think Rob wasn't as worried about that. Certainly, when we were backstage, he didn't take it bitterly. He didn't take it. It didn't seem like he was upset by it, feeling bad about it.
I think until I made comment
the wrong way by you. I do think you rub him up the wrong way, Ryan. I think it was more of a emotional reaction to that, rather than anything about the match. I actually don't think it was anything to do with the Sasha loss. I think he took that on the chin. He actually was saying to me backstage, he said, "Oh, it's really interesting." He said, I felt I couldn't get into my game. I couldn't get into my running. He was closing me down, and it was really weird, and I never felt comfortable. He was very honest about it, to be honest, backstage. I don't know whether either of you two spoke to him, lads.
Yeah.
Well, you can see in the video I put up with Fox 8 Ball yesterday, where we got Fox 8 Ball backstage, and that was after that match, and Rob was having a great time, right?
Yeah, he didn't seem down. When he did seem down, is when the bicep thing came up, and it was other people that showed him that when we were at the event, and they said, "Oh, people in the crowd were like, oh, have you seen this that Ryan's put on?" So I think he had an emotional reaction to that. That's what I actually think happened.
Yeah.
So he was.
Well, it's good to hear. It's good to hear that and as he should be respecting Sasha completely, and it's good to hear that he did. But he's let his emotional reaction to my comments somewhat devalue Sasho's performance. For me, him saying he would have belted Sasho if he had 2 months instead of one, that's a bit of a.
No, I haven't seen where he said that, but if he did say that, fair enough.
Yeah, no, he 100% said that in his video, that if he had 2 months instead of one, he would have belted him.
Fair play. So Devon's Classy Finger, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put, he's actually put, how is this shaved young mother fluffer? But I read it as who, and that's probably how it was written. His name's Ray, and he loves cats. And he's actually, how old are you, Ray? 30? 31. You do look young.
No, just one.
Yeah, he's 1 year old. And then we got Lord Demos with a super chat. It's a good name. Not much to say other than thanks, Neil. Good show, and the lads did it justice. Thank you very much, mate, and thanks for supporting the channel. So, Ryan, I wanted to ask you overall, what was your opinion of Armwrestling's, mate?
I wish I was there.
Yeah,
but it was. It looked intense. I haven't seen everything yet. I'm still kind of. I have to go and watch the Popescu match and things like that. But the caliber of the event was amazing in terms of the amount of headliner matches that could have all been main events was incredible. It's good to see the brand back. It's the first brand that I ever saw, first in an arm wrestling professional sense back in Eurosports days. So it's awesome to be back.
And your debut in Arm Wars was a belter. If you've not seen that, guys, get over and check out Ryan versus Anil Najran, because that is a great match. You were, what were you weigh about it? 75 kilos then, thereabouts?
I think 82 back then. But yeah, that was one of those travel ones where I spent more time traveling than I did in the UK. I flew in on a Friday, flew home on a Monday, with a 26-hour journey each way or something like that.
Action-packed stuff, and it was a fabulous debut.
Right, the event looked awesome. So yeah.
So Peter with a super chat, thanks, mate. He's put, is there real heat between Ryan and Lachlan? Also, Ermi's forearm looks massive. Any tips on how to get massive forearms? Wrist curls every day. So, Ray, you want to take on the second part of that, and obviously Ryan, I think you covered it a little bit earlier on, mate.
Yeah, I think
you haven't suffered your relationship with Lachlan, has it?
No, like I said, very basically, this is an agreement from 2 months ago to have a match to fight for the #1 rank in Australia. We said we're not buddies from here forward. We move into this match doing everything within our power to win it, and aggression, everything, it's all part of it. We both are two people gunning for the top rank. This is very real. We still respect each other, but we are by no means buddies during this process.
Can I ask a question on that? Okay. Where does Ben Carroll fit in? Because I always thought he was up amongst that.
Yeah. So in terms of Ben Carroll's status within Australia, he's certainly there. I think he's the #1 contender. He'll face at some point whoever wins out of Lachlan and I.
And is he Ben Carroll recognised in terms of recognized? The wrong word. Is it?
Ben Carroll has probably the most significant.
The first place.
Ben has the most significant international performance out of any super heavyweight, finishing 5th at Zloty.
Yeah,
which holds him in really high regard. In Australia, his last super match was to the Milkman, and he lost. He lost to the Milkman 3-0.
When was that?
It was like 2018, I think, late 2018.
After or before Zloty was that then, mate?
Oh,
just before Zloty. That was the year before Zloty, and he lost to Matai Rarangi in the Arnolds as well. So his last Australian and Oceanic outings, he's taken a couple of L's, but undeniably he is right there. So he's been offered a couple of matches in the last 12 months from both myself and Lachlan, and he hasn't been able to make himself available. So he's kind of just been a little bit inactive and a little bit nonchalant about getting the match. So he sits there in wait as the other guy that needs to be in the conversation. Lachlan and I will fight for #1, then will then take on whoever wins as a #1 contender. Certainly has universally in Australia, or at least he's considered top 3, but could be 1 if he turns up on the day. So, but Jordan Davis is hunting him very significantly right now, and Jordan's form is huge. What he's doing right now. So,
yeah, fair enough. So, It sounds like things are warming up in Australia, mate, and the level over there generally has gone up big time. You need to
Yeah.
have Latvia.
There's a few guys that have really stepped up. Like I said, there's a few guys that have really stepped up. Like I said, Sam Burnett is actually the one that, if I could pick anyone of Australia to have an international match that people would just be surprised by, it'd be Sam Burnett at 80 kilos. Like I said, he won 5 classes yesterday, 80s, 95s, and supers on the left, and 80s, 95s on the right, and finished 6th on in the supers. Dude is stupid strong. Like when I pull him, it's like, oh my goodness, and you're only 80 kilos. How the hell are you that strong? He could slot in very well at the international level at his weight.
I think you'll when you get Bojidar over there, that'll seal everybody's faith on how strong he can be at 80.
Yeah. But yeah, can't wait to have a measuring stick like Bojidar and Sasha out here. That'll be tremendous.
So powerful. But yeah, good on you, Sam. Sounds like you're pulling really well over there. I was impressed with Jordan also. That was spot on. So Dakota Adams just come back in with a super chat. Devon and Mike were talking about Tim versus Derek in their stream before the Olympia tournament. Need to check that out actually and get their insights on it. But I'm very excited to see how Derek goes on. Mega Mike Coburn is in the super chat. Mike, how are you doing, brother? Good to see Mike as active as he is. Also, I've seen Mike knocking about on a few of the chats. He's really throwing himself into the sport, and this is another lad with a load of potential. Hears so many good things about Mega Mike's supposed to be iron in the hook. So I know that he was looking at a match with Curtis, wasn't he, with Porkchop, trying to tee that up. That could be interesting. 2 up-and-coming names who are both really putting themselves out there. And Mike, who's got great experience of this exactly, says, Derek is a beast. I get to train with him often. I've grown because of him. Yeah, I know that he holds you in very high regard, mate. And iron sharpens iron. So I'm sure that's pushing you both up. No doubt about that. And Mike's then come back in with another super chat. And he's put, I take Bowen over RVJ. So you got a backer there, mate.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
The pendulum's doing this.
Well, I can recreate, over the weekend, there were some laughs had at Ryan Bowen's expense at Arm Wars. So there was 2 matches that were discussed a little bit. One was Ryan versus RVJ, and the other was Ryan versus Sasho when Sasho goes to Australia. And the Ryan versus RVJ match, let me give you the reaction. It was like this. Oh yeah, I think that would be all right now. I'd like to see that match. Yeah. And then Ryan versus Sasha was brought up, and the reaction was like this. something to that.
Pretty accurate. Very, very, very.
Yeah, right?
And so it should be. But I live for that shit. Give me, they're the best matches you can get. The most elite guy that'll stand across the table from you. That's what you should always see. Where
Sasho is, because I hate the whole black and white thing in arm wrestling. It pisses me off because people are so, that result happened that day, so therefore it's set in stone. And this guy can definitely beat that. And it's just not like that. It's bullshit. Arm wrestling's nothing like that at top level. And the whole, Hadji Zulayev can definitely beat Sasho now. Can he? I don't know. He has done.
You guys know that Sasha was injured, yeah?
I don't know. Yeah. Well,
he tore his back.
Yeah and no, because beforehand, I can only go off what Sasho told me. Speaking to Sasho before the match and in his post-match interview, him himself, he said, I'm stronger than I have ever been. That is a fact. That is what the man said. He said it to me, and he also said it immediately following the match on his post-match interview. But then when we were backstage, he said, but I've pulled my tit. Yeah. And he said, I felt that's been going for a while. And he said, I've definitely done something in my tit. So I need some time to recover. Because he called out Todd Hutchins for a match for the defense of the Arm Wars title on stage at the end. Well, you were there, you heard. And I went back and I said, okay, Todd, next up. When would we look, when would you be happy to do that? And he said, well, to be honest, I felt fine. He said, but now when I'm down here, definitely damaged my tit. I need to check that out and just see where we're at.
Yeah.
Fair enough, But injured, not injured, that is a very powerful man. I mean, speaking to Sonev beforehand, he said he'd been training with him, and Jordan said, Jesus, Sasha's mega at the moment. This is like a week before. And he rang me and he said he'd been training with Sasho for a long, long time, and he said he never felt him stronger. Borjadar said the same. He said, right now, Sasho's phenomenally strong, you know. So Sasho's a beast, and he put on a masterclass. He closed down the space. You know, there's nothing to be said. The guy was rock strong, is rock strong, and he's a proven killer. He's awesome.
East versus West this year has been East, 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 East. And then John Brzenk did a little bit of a West for us. But it's been a big performance from that region of the world. And Sasha, yeah, was a big part of it.
If you look at the depth of it, it's the leading region in the world. It just is. I mean, there's no doubt about it. In my mind, it's not even close. If you look at the depth of talent there, it's not close. It's really not. Because there are a number of guys, you know, who are there or thereabouts at that level. And the WAF Worlds represents an extremely high level in the lighter weight classes. So anywhere from sort of 70 to 100 kilos. Unbelievable level. Unbelievable level. Really is. It's unbelievably high. So roll on, you know. That doesn't mean that the potential isn't there within North America to turn out champions. By God, it is 100%. It's just right now, there's a rock strong level in the East, and it's shown this year. There's been some really, really good results. I would love to see a resurgent North America where, you know, it looks into the results and looks into the preparation, culturally, how they approach the sport and raise the game. There's no reason why not. And what's exciting is more and more people are getting into arm wrestling. As arm wrestling gets more popular, and this is a big thing, I think, that gets overlooked. In Eastern Europe, there's far more of a cultural acceptance of, and there's more respect might be the wrong word, but you know what I mean? There's more admiration around people who excel in strength sport. And a difference in the perception, a difference in the amount of kudos, credibility, validity that you get from competing in the sport makes a massive difference. You only need to look at strongman and the fact that the UK have so many world-class strongmen right now since the advent of Giants Live and the arena shows. It creates an enormous amount of momentum. People getting into the sport, the level gets pushed up, more people come in, and you'll find the freaks. They will come. They're out there. And North America's got just as many as anywhere else, and they will come. They will come, you know. So it's great times. And I'm interested to see guys like Corey West coming out of the woodwork. How good's he? We're going to find out, aren't we?
Next week.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of talk about, if you listen to Michael Todd, he'll tell you that Corey's the real deal. He's got a really tough test in Todd Hutchins. If he was to come in and boss Todd, that's a very impressive result. That dude takes some bullying. You know? So let's see. Let's see who's where. Exciting times, great times to be into arm wrestling. Really,
we got to mention Brzenk and Dimitri. That was an amazing performance from John. Absolutely loved it. Dimitri, good performance as well. Dimitri actually looked like the stronger hand. He was winning, overwhelming, gradually, and then John showed us exactly why he's the GOAT with his technical range, perfect timing, pulling the trigger on a flop press from a defensive half of the table, unreal. And then again, perfect timing and transitions from flop rolls to flop hooks to flop presses, defensive top rolls, real masterclass, and reminder why John's the GOAT. I
think John was well within himself, if I'm honest. I think John had rope to let out there. And John's so well-rounded, he can look really good in a lot of positions because he is really, really good in so many spots. I mean, he's so proficient. His timing's so good. Like you say, he shows why he's John, because he can do that so fluidly and bravely. I mean, let's be honest, he's probably rusty as hell because he hasn't been. He is, you know what I mean? He's not focused on it for years. He's nowhere near a prime John, but even an unpolished version of John is still a precious stone. You know, that's a bad man. And it's just great that he's reinvigorated. I think it's excellent that we get to enjoy watching John pull for another few years, however long that is, however long he's committed to the sport, then roll on. Brilliant. Absolutely great. Joe Mama with a super chat. Neil, we love you. Hope to you help to make up for the scummy Pirates. Cheers, Joe. Thanks, mate. Tell us what you really think, pal. Awesome. What a dude. So going down, and also a couple of others come in. Let's have a look. Karen Looms, Mother Fluffers, can't Bowen meet RVJ for a boxing match? Everybody's fighting each other at the moment. They'll be on with Jake Paul in a bit. I don't know. You'd have to ask them both. I don't think there's any love lost with them. They get under each other's skin. Ryan loves it. Loves it. Don't let him tell you that he avoids it. He loves it. Smart marketing, man. Gets himself into arm wrestling matches.
He doesn't want any drama.
No drama.
He's like the opposite of drama.
Absolutely avoids drama like the plague. He puts himself in no drama.
Threat level, no drama.
Just, Devin Larratt is no limits. I'm no dramas.
No drama. It's just, God, that's the one, isn't it? Ryan, no drama, Bowen. Mate, that's the one.
That's the one.
Dramaless. Yeah. Mate.
We won 5 new accounts. 5 new accounts. Come on, guys.
That is absolute quality. Let's have a look. I think I've caught up on super chats there, guys. We've been on for about coming close to 2 hours, so we're going to kill it in a minute, I think. Let it go. Rolly Ray's on his ass there.
I'm dying. I'm sorry. I'm dying.
Hey, I just wanted to bring up the insanity and the awesomeness of how many people were at the Arnold just to watch arm wrestling, and the people that already knew who I was. I got stopped 6-7 times by people I didn't know to have pictures. And then I went to take a piss and I walked with you, and it took us an hour and a half just to get across the stadium because you couldn't walk anywhere.
It was funny. Amazing. It was funny. That's really great. I mean, the fact that we're getting so many people into arm wrestling now, and like you say, people are coming to watch how many shirts? All kinds of shirts. Nemiroff shirts, WAL shirts, all kinds of shirts there. It was great.
Yeah.
So having so many people at the show who were genuine down in the wall arm wrestling fans. Mega. And it's only going to get better, When we were at the Giants at night, some of the strongmen crowd, and when we're backstage and we're mucking around, a lot of the talk was about arm wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I've got people like JF Carroll sat there and they're talking about arm wrestling. That's mega.
You saw Giannis, he's like, I'm a big fan. when we're waiting to go to the backstage, we're just standing up and people are walking out. I took 3 pictures just standing there because some people just so many fans. It's amazing. It's crazy where this sport has gone.
I told you about I told you about the lady who
we told that on the live stream as well. Yeah,
that was like
titties.
Never have I had that. I mean, John's.
I think we need to do a shout out to Fox 8 Ball.
But mate, Fox, maybe the biggest arm wrestling fan in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe
it was cool to see a photo of him. It's always cool when I have no idea what someone actually looks like, but then you say their username, and you're like, I know exactly who that dude is.
Ryan, go watch. I just put out a video of the whole saga of me getting an extra neck lanyard thing, and I gave it to him. We walked in, and there's him meeting Neil, him meeting Art.
Put it out, Megan. I need to look at that.
Yeah, it's. I just put it up yesterday. It's hilarious. Awesome, dude.
He was wired in, wasn't he? Fox was wired. He was buzzing. It was great to see because the guy loves it.
Yeah,
loves it. And there are a number of people that were coming up after that were from other disciplines, powerlifting, strongman, coming up saying, you know what? Who knew? We came here to do other stuff, and we haven't walked around the show. We've been stopping at this and just watched loads of matches. I thought that made my weekend.
Arm wrestling was the best thing there for sure.
It was great. It made
especially the matches that we had there.
On
all of them were entertaining.
Hey, hats off, by the way, to a match that hasn't been talked about enough. But the first match on Thursday, Ted the Elf Wilson and
Urban.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
What a great match. What a great match that was.
Great match to start the day, because it's like after round 2, we're like, yeah, it's done. You know, there's not, and then the comeback.
Boom. So good.
Yeah.
That first set of 3 matches, I mean, you know, barring Adrian's complete lack of fundamentals, but outside of that, first 3 set matches was mega. They were just screamers. And then we went into the 1 o'clock session and we started it with Tom and your boy. So, I mean, and you know, Casper's got there at 5-2 and was on the stage sweating by 5 past. It was like, oh, wow. Incredible. I think by the end of the day, of that first day, I don't think we'd had a single match that wasn't an absolute war.
Yeah.
The first day was unbelievable.
Well,
you know, in fact, it was the bigger name matches that didn't deliver. The first one with the disappointment was just down to Jeff getting hurt.
Yeah.
Injury's injury. Nothing you can do about that, you know.
Yeah.
Outside of that, everything else friggin' unbelievable. John Mama, thanks for your super chat, mate. Really appreciate your support to the channel. I'll not read that out, but thank you for your super chat. Absolute quality. What a guy. Let's have a look. I don't think we've missed any more. Guys, anybody else want to cover anything before we wrap this puppy dog's tail
up? One of my favorite people I met was your dad, Wiz.
Oh, mate,
it was so good. That guy made me laugh so much this weekend.
Oh, he's brilliant, mate. I'm blessed. My dad's a funny dude. He's cutting as hell. His one-liners. Oh, when you were crashing on the stage, you had me in tears. Paul Maiden and the Wiz throughout the show were just on each other. Just, you know, when I'm trying to commentate and I can hear the Wiz and Maiden coming out with stuff, you know. And Maiden, can I just say, Paul Maiden did a great job.
Yes.
Keep the matches flowing. Did a great job. It's not easy to keep the matches flowing. I thought he did a great job. The matches were fluid. But Paul's turn of phrase as a referee, can you imagine? I mean, some of the stuff that he comes out with, and you're like, okay, Paul, that's a different attitudinal approach from a ref. You don't usually get that, you know. Things along the lines of, right, cut you in shit and get in the straps. And I remember thinking, did he just say that out loud? Did you realise that everybody's mic'd up, like, you know? And I said to him, Paul, yeah, can't really say that, mate. And he said, oh, yeah, they're getting on my tits.
Well, it becomes exponentially more difficult to slow the match down when the referee says something like this. Right, if you don't get your grip right now, I'm going to take my pocket knife out and slit your jugular and watch you bleed out real slow. You kind of get the fire underneath you.
On him. It was like, you know, but yeah, he's got a... Yeah, Paul, what a guy. There are so many stories. But
so funny.
Yeah. What an individual that is. Can you imagine if Paul and Ryan ever meet?
Everyone was afraid to go to bed if Paul was in the room. So,
yeah, seriously, you see Paul Maiden oiling up in the corner of your room. Do not shut your eyes. Do not shut your eyes. I once woke up in Brazil, right? We were at the World Championships in Brazil. And I wake up in the morning, I'm just in my bed, and I open my eyes, and Paul Maiden's ass is like 2 foot away from me. And there's a full-length mirror in the room. And there's like 7 of us in this room. And Paul is helicoptering. He's doing a helicopter. He's got his hands behind his head, and he's helicoptering in front of the mirror. And I'm like, you know, you come round, I'm like, what the are you doing, Paul? He's all right, mate, I'm just doing my warm-ups. Just doing my warm-ups. I said, warm-ups for what, mate? He said, just, you know, keeping limber. I said, all right.
Just always got to be ready.
Well, you never know. Whenever you're going to have to rotate your penis for no apparent reason. You know what I mean? At any given time, somebody comes up and says, can you swing that round rhythmically? You might have to do it. So,
ready.
Yeah, Tong Po. What a man. What a man.
Tong Po, I forgot about
Oh God. Uncle Dole will not go down that route. Leave Tom Paul alone. But yeah, Joe Mama.
Oh Lord.
Joe Mama's killing it with the super chat. He loves you, doesn't he, Joe? Joe, you can read that one, Ryan. It's all right. Well,
Oh,
Joe,
yeah.
thanks
Joe
for your
Mama.
chat, mate.
Neil number 1, John is cool. Ray hangs with Giannis equals awesome. And Ryan, yes.
No. It was like.
Sorry. That was the pirate. The pirate. Yeah. Arr, that one.
Oh, it's aye. I'll see what you've done there. See what you've done there. Very impressive.
Gotcha. I went over my head.
Guys, we're gonna wrap it up there, ladies and gents. We've been on for about.
I'm tired.
We're gonna let these guys. Ryan's got to get in with his day. Bowen is inevitable.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, man. Hopefully, they let him out of Australia soon. We can get him on an Arm Wars card. There's so many guys that you can prove a lot of the points. Then we can get you pulling international lads. When's Sasho able to come over?
They've said, like I said, 3-4 weeks notice is all they need, and we'll just wait till the Australian borders open with no need to quarantine. So that's realistically anywhere from December forward. I know he's pulling in January against Todd, so we're at Engen's event, so we'll avoid that. So it could be as early as December or February. It'll be more likely February, I would say.
Okay. And as soon as you're allowed out, you're very open to traveling and
yes. Pull anyone. We'll pull anyone.
Hey, it's coming. Oh my God, it's on. There's so many matches that you've talked yourself into. It's brilliant. It's just where your weight's going to be. That's the only thing. It's you and John, the two guys that are going to be changing. John's going down. You said you were going down to what 100?
I want to walk around at 180, 185. So that's I don't know how many kilos that is. 80
kilos, 88. Yeah, 187.
Yeah.
What were you now? 90, 95?
95, yeah.
95, yeah. So, bloody hell. You'll be shredded up at that, mate.
That's what I'm hoping.
And that's Mizel Jador's handiwork, is it?
100%.
Guy right there. I need to get a bit of assistance from Mizel Jador myself.
Indeed.
Slim down, lose a couple of sets of tits, maybe the ankle tits and back tits. Could go and come on with just a couple of sets of sideys and the fronties. Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up at that and let it go. Just before we do, please make your way over to Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show. That's the mother fluffer right there, sporting Ryan Bowen on his shirt. Get over, give him a sub, give him a like. You know you want to. If you are not already subscribed to the mighty Rolly Royce, the voice of arm wrestling, get yourself down there, get it subbed, and check out everything related to arm wrestling on Rolly Royce's channel. You want to learn to top roll like Giannis Amelins. Are you still doing the one-on-one coaching as well, mate?
Yeah. Now we're doing big group coaching together, so it's way better, and we can have more people, and it's a kind of community. So all the information is in the videos comment section, or just ask me. So
tremendous. Get in touch with Ray about that. Well worth a look. The guys evidenced it the other week at Arm Wars Reality Check. Everyone that came over from Latvia looked like they've been carved out of Zeus's tooth and could arm wrestle their balls off. You too can do that. Get yourself over, get signed up with these guys, and they will turn you into a monster. Last but by no means least, he's the man down under. Remember, pound for pound arm wrestling. You can get everything related to the sport of arm wrestling. We were using the straps over here in the Arm Wars Reality Check.
How'd they go?
Yeah, went well, mate. Not didn't work out too great for
second day.
Straps. There were no issues with them. You guys both pulled in straps a couple of times. How did you find the pound for pound strap?
I prefer them.
Nice.
They're not flowing with energy coming out.
Oh, it was amazing. Like, my best experience of Arm Wars was just arm wrestling in a strap that's made pound for pound arm wrestling. It was crazy. I felt like the Brisbane power came over me, and it's just like felt so strong. The problem was when the buckle was on my side, I didn't get the full power. My opponent had it. So when we changed, I got the full power again. So all in all, I just want to endorse it. It's a good strap. It's the best strap ever. Come on.
Best strap in.
Terrible, right? It was absolutely terrible.
And you And you can also get handles, merch, all kinds of things on there. Remember, you want 15% off? Use the code Supernatural. And you can get yourself over to Ryan's channel, buy up some stuff from him. And also get subbed if you want to hear Ryan diss RVJ for no apparent reason. If you want to hear Ryan...
No drama.
No dramas about.
Lack of fundamentals. Not a fundamental inside. Get yourself over to Ryan Blue Bowen and give him a sub, give him a like.
Most importantly, the match with Lachlan are there. That's where the match with Lachlan are there 2 weeks away. That's what matters most of the 2 weeks.
Are you on the? Are you just toning down the training now, mate, or are you still howling?
Yeah. 10 days out, I'll stop going heavy. So I got like 1 or 2 more sessions of heavy lifting in me, and then it's smooth sailing, easy going from there.
Lovely darts. Ladies and gents, just as the cattail hard-on comes in, beautifully timed. Remember the fix, brought to you by Western Survivor Beef Jerky, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't tried this stuff, you are missing out. It's the greatest beef jerky in the world. www.westernsurvivor.ca. Let's go.
Sweet barbecue, that's my favorite.
Good gear, isn't it? It really is amazing gear. And if this is your first time on Supernatural Strength, ladies and gents, please give us a like, give us a share, give us a sub. And until we see you next time here on Supernatural Strength, take it easy, peeps.
Cheers.
I know, Tinker out.
There he is.